Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week.
Hi Paul, another week, another conversation.
Okay. Soft skills, I think, are on your agenda for today.
Absolutely. Do you know what they are?
Soft skills, yeah, they're hard skills, but a bit softer.
No, they are skills that you really need to succeed in the workplace.
Okay. So can you give me an example of a soft skill?
I'm doing one now. I'm communicating with you.
Okay. Why is communication essential in the workplace?
Well,
what's your view on that?
It builds relationships. It helps you have professional success. It lets you get your work done. You can't do work without communicating in some form or another because it's going to be verbal or written feedback. It's going to be feedback. It's dealing with colleagues and supervisors and bosses.
Okay. So isn't that just like, well, we're saying communication, but that's really just what everybody does every day. Mm-hmm. It's just talking with people. What's the difference between what we do every day and a soft skill that we call communication then? Well,
soft skill needs to be part of what you do every day, but it's how you do it. It's doing it so that you, your team, your project are successful. So it's being able to express yourself clearly and well, to engage in people and they want to listen to you, that you actually listen to them. It's about how you present yourself in a written format. It's also presentation skills and public speaking. Okay. There's lots of different ways and you've got to do it well. And it depends on your job, your position, your role, the message you're delivering.
So do you think it's really important for everybody in every job that they can communicate well? I mean, I'm thinking, there are people who work in, say, manual labor jobs. Do they need the soft skill of communication to do their jobs?
I think everybody needs to pay attention to how they communicate because, you could say something in the wrong way and offend somebody and you don't mean to.
True.
But it depends whether they want to stay in their position. Have they got goals and objectives to climb the professional ladder? In that case, then they're going to need to develop their communication skills. But then that's just one soft skill. Can you give me another one, Paul?
Something I'm really, really good at, leadership.
Okay, so in what way is leadership a soft skill?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I suppose anything that isn't, let's say, a technical skill or a hard skill is a soft skill. Mm-hmm. I think the definition of soft skills would be non-technical skills. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, we said here, we've got an article, as we always do. It says here, they're more than just technical expertise and knowledge. It's about attributes and abilities that allow you to collaborate with teams and colleagues. They're the foundation of effective teamwork and organizational success. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty important. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So we've spoken about communication. Mm-hmm. I mentioned leadership. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think I would, in all honesty, I don't think I would be a great leader or manager of people. But I suppose leadership would fall under the remit of soft skills.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's problem solving, isn't it? Problem solving, coaching, mentoring, management, strategic thinking. Are you a strategic thinker, Paul?
I like to think I am, but you never know, do you?
You're very logical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm not sure whether that's an insult or not. I'm very logical.
I'm more creative.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What about teamwork then? Number 3 on our list of soft skills that are essential in the workplace, the modern workplace, is teamwork. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you a good team player?
Well, when we say about interview questions, if ever you're asked that question, you always say, yes, absolutely.
But I'm also able to work on my own, under my own initiative. Yeah, I understand that. But honestly, I think I work better on my own rather than being part of a team.
But doesn't it depend on what the task is?
Yeah, maybe. But I think most of the time, though, I think I do better individually rather than part of a team. That's just my view.
I don't think you've been with the right team yet.
See, that's what it could be.
I mean, I've been in teams and there have been people in those teams who, well, it felt like I was trying to extract teeth whenever we were trying to get them to do their share of the work. They were all talk. Oh, yes, I've done this. Oh, yes, I've done that. And when you actually looked at what they'd done, it was just like,
nothing.
Yeah, it was like whistling in the wind. Whereas you can be in another team, where we're in a team at the moment with a couple of ladies doing some content work, and they are super duper.
Okay.
They are proactive, they do things before you even thought about it. They have the same way of thinking. They're very creative. They really, really try and do, go the extra mile. Lovely expression there.
Yeah.
And it's like a breath of fresh air.
Okay. I kind of agree with you. And, in those situations, yeah, I tend to do what I have to do or do what I'm supposed to do as part of the team. But I still prefer work. I still prefer individual rather than teamwork. I think that's just me personally.
Here's a question for you. Do you think men are more suited to individual work and girls are more suited to teamwork, or vice versa?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it, to be honest. What do you think?
I think it's just individual basis.
Yeah, I think it's individual.
Yeah, and it depends on the task. Sometimes you put in a team to do a task that doesn't need a team to do it. It's just like a team for a team's sake, and it's just like, you just need to give one person the job, or...
Yeah. So I can understand, as a soft skill, I wouldn't call it teamwork, working with other people. Mm-hmm. That, you might have your task, they have their task, but working with other people, I suppose is kind of like teamwork in a sense. I think I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. It's just that, if it's my project, it's my team. I just want to be in control and do it myself.
Well, look, we talked about creativity.
Yeah, I mean, you said you're more creative than me, and I completely agree. You are definitely more creative than I am. But how important is creativity in the workforce?
I think it's essential.
Yeah.
You need creative people to, push the boundaries and think up something new. But the only problem is those creative people might not be the right people to put the idea into practice.
So you need creative people to think of the ideas, and you need logical people like me to actually do the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we've been watching at the moment, we're watching a mockumentary sort of drama thing. What was it called? The Dropout.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's about a girl who had an idea. Theranos. She wanted to set up a blood testing machine with one drop of blood. It can test lots of different tests, so you're not injected with needles all the time. Fabulous idea, but she didn't have the science acumen, the knowledge, the understanding to actually create the gadget. And this is a true story. She landed up getting lots of investment, taking millions and millions of dollars off various companies, even putting it into stores, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Her idea was years ahead of the scientific capability, and she blagged it out, which was terrible.
But I think, being creative, having those ideas, I mean, everything on this planet that has ever been created has been created out of creativity, hasn't it?
Everything has been created out of creativity.
Well, it's true, everything comes from creativity. Someone has an idea. Yeah. Whether that person then has the ability to actually make that idea a reality is completely different, but it always comes from an idea, from something creative. like, people talk about Steve Jobs as being a creative genius, but he had the idea perhaps, but I don't think he ever created physically the electronics and the components for the iPhone or the iPod and things like that. It was just his idea, his vision. Yeah.
He sowed the seed.
Yeah. You can have sort of, creativity can be a great thing when you have maybe problems to resolve. People come up with creative ideas, which is a good thing, I suppose, in a sense. But I mean, I can think of a creative idea to solve any problem you like. No, all it requires is a time machine traveling into the future, finding out how they solved the problem 100 years from now, and bringing that information back to the present and presenting that in a PowerPoint to the team.
Okay, so
that's creative.
If I said the problem is we're not millionaires, you would go into the future, find out the lottery numbers, come back so we could then buy the lottery ticket and then win.
Well, that would be the creative idea. I would need somebody else to create the time machine for me. Yeah, I'm the ideas man, Rachel. I don't do the technical, nitty gritty. I just have the ideas. Yeah.
Okay. What about time management?
As a soft skill, I suppose it's important. Turning up on time, meeting your deadlines.
Well, what is it? There's that principle, isn't there? I can't remember the name of it now. There's a principle that if you give somebody 6 months to do something, they'll take 6 months.
Yeah.
So they make the task fill the time that you give them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think time management can be a difficult skill. Okay. Because different people have different responsibilities, both in work, outside of work. People have different pressures, don't they?
Yeah, I agree.
And it can also change through people's lives.
Yeah.
Okay. What other ones are on the list? Let's have a look. We've touched a little bit on problem solving.
And I have the solution to all problems.
Okay. Yeah.
A time machine.
You are the oracle.
Yeah.
Adaptability.
Yeah. I think we've adapted to various situations in our lives. You have to adapt.
Yeah. Do or die.
Yeah. Do or die. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. What about work ethic? Now, I would say for us, we didn't like the office 9-to-5 work ethic, so we set up our own work ethic.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I have a work ethic.
Yeah.
It's just that my work ethic didn't agree with what the company wanted me to do. Yeah.
Your goals were not aligned.
Yeah, our goals were not aligned. Yeah, and the time frames were just ridiculous. What, arrive at the office 9 o'clock and stay till 5? No.
On a Friday?
On a Friday, yeah. How dare you?
Okay. We've also got critical thinking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Deductive reasoning, analysis, evaluation, synthesis.
Okay. I think that's critical thinking. I think that's a very specific skill. Mm-hmm. You don't necessarily need critical thinking for every part of your work, do you?
Well, I think it's important that you can analyse all the points out of there and look at which are the strong points and the weak points. What's going to work, what's not feasible, what's feasible, what's not feasible.
Yeah.
There's no point, following something down one path, knowing full well it's not going in the direction you want and it's leading you away from the goal.
Okay. I would say that, I don't think this is not a soft skill on that list. Mm-hmm. But I would say common sense is a soft skill.
Which some people plainly lack. But can you learn common sense, though?
I don't know. I don't know whether you can learn it.
Hit people over the head.
But critical thinking, how many times in your life have you been involved in, say, in a working situation where a manager or someone has introduced a new idea mm-hmm. or a new process or new mm-hmm. this, and they're going, this is going to be wonderful, we're going to do this. And you're thinking, this is not going to work. Why are you doing this? This is rubbish.
Many times you have as well.
Yeah.
But then that decision has just come down from somebody above. And
yeah. So I would say sort of critical thinking, but critical thinking, okay, I'm just thinking negative, from a worker's perspective, actually doing the work, this new thing that the directors have just decided just makes life 10 times harder for us. Yeah. I don't necessarily think that's critical thinking, but in a sense, do you think managers and bosses actually want you to criticize their ideas?
No. And now here it comes down to your position in the company. If you are the lowest level, you're like frontline infantry, the army. They don't want you questioning or querying your commands. They're going to point, go over there, and you're going to just say yes. Whereas if you're of a certain level of management, I think it's your responsibility to point out, hang on, this is not a good idea. But it depends where you are in the hierarchy there, I think. Yeah. And, it may be part of your job that they employ you because of your critical thinking abilities. Like consultants are brought in, aren't they, specifically for their critical thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, and, we've both had experience of working with consultants, and they charge, $1,000 a day just to tell you
what you knew anyway.
They give you a report. They do a great presentation that just tells you what you knew anyway. What anybody in the office could have told you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but the thing is, the management don't want to hear it from the normal person in the office. They want to hear it from a consultant, and then they'll believe it and they'll act on it. Whereas if you just told them, they'd be like, stop whinging, you're fired, off you go.
Yeah, it's true.
You're a negative influence in the office.
Yeah. So anyway, common sense is missing from the list. And I would say instead of critical thinking, you need common sense.
It would save them a lot of money, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Now, we've already done a little podcast on
emotional intelligence.
Yeah. If people want to go back in the list of ones we've done, have a listen to that. Empathy.
Yeah. I mean, do you think you're emotionally intelligent?
I have to consciously think about it sometimes, I will admit, because there are certain scenarios that I cannot imagine for real. And like people who've got kids and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't got kids, so I can't. I have to sit and go, okay, think about it.
Right.
It's hard. I wonder sometimes, though, do people actually think about my position?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like the empathy is just going in one direction. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, it's important that you can, read the body language or try and understand, social dynamics within a team, especially if you're a leader of a team. You can see who works well with others, who doesn't work well together, and things like that. And understanding what motivates people. But being able to have that skill to see it and understand it, but then you also then have to do something with that intelligence that you have. Yeah. For example, motivation, being able to motivate people. It's a very individual thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can motivate a team or a group of people. You have to motivate individuals. So how do you do that if you have a team of 20 people, for example? Well,
I think you've touched on a very key point here. I don't think any of these skills, these soft skills, are things that stand alone. With motivation, that's got to play into leadership and teamwork, because you've got to motivate one person and motivate them in the way that they will go forth and motivate others. It's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's difficult. They're not easy things. They're not easy things to define. They're not easy things to teach. But they are important.
Yeah.
Some people are better at some than others.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I don't think I would be great at... I don't think I am great at all of them. But common sense. I've definitely got common sense, I think.
In buckets. In spades.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if people want to have a look at the list, read the article. There are 11 key soft skills: communication, teamwork, creativity, adaptability, problem solving, work ethic, critical thinking, and conflict management. And the article says they can be developed and honed over time, which they can.
Yeah.
But to what level of success will depend on you. Yeah.
Or you can just be like me and just have buckets of common sense and you don't need anything else.
Or work for yourself.
Yeah, work for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast, and please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.